God, no, this isn't really what I planned. Been getting weak in the knees till I can't stand. Baby, I'm just putty in the palm of your hand.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Life in a Shell. I'm your host, Christina Schell. We are back for episode 2. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for all the love on the relaunch of the podcast. I am so happy that I restarted this podcast because all the love that I have been getting. Thank you for all the follows. Thanks for all the listens. There's already some really cool things in the works. And I was just reminded once again that you just have to do it. You just have to do the thing that sparks your spark. Oh my goodness. On today's episode, I am going to share and showcase my brand new series called Me On My Schell. So I did a little shout out asking people if they wanted to leave me a message on my shell. And I asked them a series of questions. So over the next few episodes, I'm going to be sharing some of the answers that I received because they are so amazing and funny and inspirational and heartwarming, and they're a fun listen. So today, we're going to start off with the first question I asked them. And I asked, what is your favorite inspirational quote? I got some really good answers and I'm excited to share them. I've been thinking, what is my favorite inspirational quote? And my favorite inspirational quote is speak your truth even if your voice shakes. My mom and I, we got our tarot cards read one time, and the tarot card reader to my mom told her, speak your truth even if your voice shakes. And it stuck with me. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, I think I needed to hear that. And it has been stuck with me for many years, and I say it consistently, and I truly believe it. Speak your truth even if your voice shakes. Just do it. Be brave. Just do it. Okay, so I think we should just jump right into it, and we should play some of these messages. So here are some little voice notes that I received on my shell.
Hello? Hello? Is this Call Me On My Schell phone? This is Courtney Napper here, offering my favorite inspirational quote. Okay, it is, dreams so big you get uncomfortable telling small-minded people. Mic drop. Sorry, not sorry. Not gonna explain myself. If you know, you know.
Okay, so I teased that last one on the podcast last week, but it was just so cute and so true, and I had to play it again because dream big. Dream big. If it makes people feel uncomfortable, that's a personal problem, okay? And like what Courtney said, mic drop. Period.
I think rejection is redirection. I heard that once and I couldn't get it out of my head because I truly think that what's meant for you won't miss you. And if it does miss you, then it wasn't meant for you at all. And I think sometimes we hold on to the things that we wish we had, or like we make up stories in our head of what ifs, and we hold on to this false perception of something when we should actually be asking ourselves why it happened in the first place and how this is a sign of alignment rather than questioning its purpose.
So my favorite inspirational quote has to be the change you wish to see in the world by Mahatma Gandhi. And it's because it just reminds me that personal responsibility is the starting point for any meaningful transformation. Rather than waiting for circumstances or people to change or improve, it just inspires me to embody the values that I really care about. So if I want more kindness, then I'm going to strive to be more kind. If I want fairness, I'm going to aim to act more fairly. And it's just empowering because it shifts the focus from blame or frustration to proactive action. And I love how this quote acknowledges that real change does often begin on an individual level and then ripples outward to influence others. And I think at its core, it's really just about aligning my own daily actions with the bigger vision that I have for the world. And that feels both really purposeful and deeply fulfilling.
It's not a formal quote. It's not by anybody famous, but it is the single best piece of advice I have ever been given. My therapist once said to me, just mope. just mope. You don't have to be excited or motivated about doing something. You just have to fucking do it. So just mope. Do it sad. Do it angry. Do it envious. Just do it. Just do it! Or maybe that can be the other inspirational quote, is just do it. Shia LaBeouf, Nike, circa sometime in the 2010s.
Okay, I just want to bring it back really quick to that very first message in that series when she said, rejection is redirection. Love it. One of my favorite quotes as well, and I truly believe in it. There's so many things in my life I have been rejected from, and now when I zoom out and I think about it like years later, I am so thankful that lots of those things did not work and that I was rejected, because it did redirect me to the next thing I was supposed to be doing. And I always remind myself that when I am getting rejected, that it is just redirecting me to the next thing that is meant for me. Also, love that last one, and it's true, just freaking do it. Just freaking do it. Okay, this next message, it's making me feel some feelings, so I'm gonna have a little chat about it after. Let's play the message.
So there is an American actor named Will Rogers. He was a vaudeville performer back in the early 1900s, so it's been a while. But Will once said, even if you're on the right track, you'll get run over if you just sit there. I think that this can be taken in so many different ways, but I think we often get stagnant in our dreams and aspirations if we're not dreaming and aspiring. I think we get stuck because we get scared. And something that has really stuck with me the last couple of weeks is something that you told me, actually. Follow the breadcrumbs. The theory of you don't have to have it all figured out, but as long as you have the next idea and the next piece, you can continually follow these breadcrumbs until you get the bigger thing. This is exactly what I think Will Rogers was trying to say by this, and that is why it is my favorite inspirational quote.
This message made me feel the feelings, because I don't know about you, but hands up if you can relate. Oh my goodness, both my hands are up over here. I relate to this one so much, and this is a huge, this describes probably a big reason of why I took a pause from the podcast for so long. I feel like some of my biggest dreams, sometimes I get so nervous by, and I guess I'm scared of my own success or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but I get stuck in that freeze, "Ugh," anxiety, and it's easy for me to go, I'll just do it next week. It's fine. And it's wait, why are we doing that? Why are we sitting on our dreams? Huh? Why? I think it's from past experiences of things maybe happening, but then it's those things are done. Those things have happened. Now, it doesn't mean it's always going to be like that, so let's freaking go. Or maybe that's just a silly fear your brain is coming up with, and it's why? Why don't we start thinking about all the amazing things that can happen instead of maybe the not so good, you know? I can only speak for myself, but that's, yeah, I don't know. Follow the breadcrumbs. That's something I'm doing, and I highly suggest that you should too, because magic happens when you show up for yourself. Showing up for yourself is the best thing you can do. And okay, I think this is my second favorite quote. It is, failure is just success. And I, at first, was huh? And then I was oh wait, that is so spot on. Every time I've, in quotations, failed, I've either been redirected to the right path or gotten back up, dusted off my boots, and tried again and succeeded. And a lot of things that I failed at have led me into the right direction. And now that years have gone by, I look back on those things and I'm thank goodness. So failure is just success. It is redirecting us to what is supposed to be. Okay, let's play a few more messages.
When you start to walk on the way appears. And I love that quote because it's been such a major lesson for me in surrendering and in doing things, even if I don't know what the outcome will be, even if I have no idea where it's leading me, but doing it just because my intuition is telling me to. And whenever I do that, magical things happen. So I love that quote.
My favorite inspirational quote, I have a couple. To be honest, there's probably lots that I actually love and resonate with, but one that I always come back to is, to live a creative life, you must lose the fear of being wrong. And I think anyone can resonate with this. I don't think you need to be a dancer. I don't think you need to be in the creative field or the creative realm. I think anyone, no matter what their passions or hobbies or professions are, I think it's, if you want to live a life of, lots of love, good friends, adventures, your passions, I think in order to do that, you need to remind yourself to let go of any negativity straight away before you even try the thing or go for the thing that you really want. So I really, really love that quote.
Okay, couldn't pick one. Here's 3. I'm going to bang them out. Here we go. Number 1, from the beloved 2003 comedy hit Hot Rod. Life's short. Stunt it. And I know, okay, I know it's not that serious, but it grounds me and it makes me laugh, and it kind of has the same connotation as YOLO, but it's just better somehow, Do I buy the matching velour tracksuit? Life's short. Stunt it. Do I profess my feelings to this person? Life's short. Stunt it. You see? Actually, it is starting to kind of sound like a justification, but I do promise it works. And just imagine Andy Samberg saying it in your head. You'll see what I mean. Number 2, when you stop people-pleasing, people stop being pleased. I'm just going to let that one sink in for a sec. Okay. Number 3, stop trying to be the best version of yourself and just work to whatever your favorite version of yourself looks like. What would your favorite version of yourself want to be doing right now?
My favorite inspirational quote is, "Not everyone is you, and that is your superpower."
Oh, okay. I am over here smiling so much. I'm loving these messages that people have left me on my shell. And that last one, not everybody is you, and that's your superpower. It's true. There's only one of you. Only one of you. And that's pretty freaking cool. So we gotta own it, right? We gotta speak our truth, even if our voice shakes, and we gotta own it. Okay, I'm going to play one more favorite inspirational quote, and I saved this one for last because I feel like I personally needed to hear this one and be reminded of this.
One that I always kind of come back to that I love is, feel the fear and do it anyway. And there's tons of examples I could use for this, but one that has popped to mind that is just so, would resonate with a huge population of people would be, you want to go on vacation and you got to get a flight to get there, but you have a fear of flying. At the end of the flight, you're going to get to the place that you want to be and you're going to have an amazing time. But you just got to get through that. You just got to do the thing. So it's like, feel the fear of flying, but do it anyway, because at the end you're going to feel great. And yes, it's about the journey and all of that, but when you're feeling that fear, that's a really good example, I find, of something you can use that quote for. It's like, yes, I'm scared, but I'm doing a good thing. I'm doing something exciting. And the feeling after, you'll be proud of yourself that you did the thing.
Feel the fear, baby. Feel the fear and do it anyways. I love that. I love that. When I perform, or even when I record these podcasts, or I do something that I'm really passionate about, usually before I teach, I get so nervous and I get the stage fright and the butterflies, but you just got to push through. You got to be brave and you have to push through the fear. I think that goes with anything. I think anything that gives you anxiety, but is like something that you really want to do, you just have to push through, because once you do take that step forward, the more you're just gonna, you're in your element and it feels good and you're gonna be proud that you did it. So I think that's a good reminder. Okay, that was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to some people's favorite inspirational quotes. If you are following along on Spotify, I want to know what your favorite inspirational quote is. And you can actually comment on the episodes on Spotify, which is so fun. So tell me in the comments. I'm always reading the comments and I would love to know. Now, I had a few people call me on my shell and leave a voice note asking me some questions. And since we have time left, I thought, you know what? Let's answer a few questions. So let's play the very first message.
My question for you, who is your dream guest for your podcast and why? Thank you very much.
Okay. I love this question, and it's a good question to answer so early on in the podcast. So when this dream comes true, we can look back at episode 2 and go, well, Lord have mercy. That was cool. Okay, I think I'm gonna name a few, but right now my dream podcast guest would be Jeremy Albino. He is such an amazing musician, and I just recently saw him perform here in Vancouver. He performed at the Commodore, and I was just like dazzled. He dances when he sings, and he dances like Mr. Presley a little. He like rocks his hips and his knees, and I don't even think he knows that he's moving so coolly. I don't think coolly is a word, but oh my God, he looks so cool. And he's just like gliding across that stage and he is rocking out, but then also he'll just like sing a ballad and the whole audience will be like hypnotized by how gorgeous his voice is. And I think he's just a really cool cat and has a cool personality. And I would love to sit down and ask him some questions. I'm going to cross my fingers that that comes true. And oh my goodness, Hannah Berner. I think she's hilarious. Giggly Squad is like one of my favorite podcasts. Her and Paige would be a dream to sit down and giggle with. Uh, that would be so neat. And oh my God, Drew Barrymore. I'm a big fan of Drew, and I think she would be so wholesome to have a sit down conversation with. And I feel like we're besties. Just gotta say that. Okay, let's answer another question.
Christina, I love you so much. My question to you is, if you could be anywhere in the world right now, like a place that you could actually physically be in or at, where would it be and why?
Okay, firstly, I love you. And this question is really making me think. I don't know if I can just pick one spot, and I have my reasons, okay? I feel like I really need some live music in my life. And I've always said if I go to Austin, Texas, I'm probably never coming home. And why I say that is because I feel like I would just be so in love and dazzled by all the musicians and just all the music and the inspiration that I hear comes from Austin. I've never been, so I don't know. But everybody tells me, Christina, you would love Austin. And I'm like, ha ha ha. But I have a few answers. Like, I obviously need to go to Elvis Presley's house. I've never been to Graceland. I really want to go. It's a big dream of mine. And I can't wait until that day. You know, I'm going to show up in like a leather black suit, probably with some fringe on it or something. And I must have a Super 8 film camera when I go because I must document it. And it's probably going to be the best day of my life. Seriously. But like also New York. I dream of New York. I've only been once when I was really young and I wasn't of age. And I think it's a crime that I haven't been as an adult. I dream to go buy a pair of Laducas and go take dance classes, Broadway jazz classes, and just live my jazz dreams, get so jazzy and sassy. And that needs to happen sometime soon in my life because I deserve that. I am kind of unhinged over on my TikTok. My TikTok's Life in a Shell. You should follow me. But I've been kind of teasing the fact of something I've been wanting to do. And I am like 3 dares away to like packing up all my stuff, selling everything, and just going on a travel adventure. I don't know where I would go, but I feel like my body needs somewhere calm and heat. I feel like I just want somewhere where I can go and get really creative and have a little reset, make some videos, make some podcasts. But what I do know is I feel my most self when I'm traveling. I feel so happy, and I'm manifesting more opportunities to be able to do that. Okay, let's play another question.
Christina, I got a question for you. How do you deal with times that you feel lost, feel stuck? You just don't know what to do next, either career-wise or personal-wise.
Okay, I had to answer this question because this question kind of makes my heart sting just because it's so real and raw. And my girly, if I'm being completely transparent, I deal with this quite often. When I'm feeling stuck or when I'm feeling lost and I have no idea what to do next, I take a moment and I say, okay, I need a break. And it's okay to unplug. It's okay not to answer people right away. Sometimes when the noise of life is so big, I end up getting into that feeling of feeling so freaking lost. And I am a full-time creative. It ain't easy, but I wouldn't change it for the world. My parents, they put me into an art school from grade 1 to grade 12. It was kind of like the movie Fame. And I graduated as a dance major, which is a pretty rare opportunity and a really cool experience. And so being creative is what I personally know best. And here's the thing. Yeah, being a full-time dancer and dance teacher, we ain't making what doctors are making, but guess what? How lucky are we? We get to empower people, inspire people. I get to teach people how to high kick and hair whip and just own their freaking power for my job. That's pretty badass. And when I'm teaching and I'm watching dancers dance my choreography, it is like, whoa, that alone makes me emotional. Having my brain come up with this cool vision, this dance, and then seeing dancers learn it and make it come alive, it is like one of the most iconic feelings ever. And I wouldn't change that for the world. And I know you who sent in this voice note, and you also are an amazing dancer and teacher and instructor, and you're inspiring so many people around you. The thing about the entertainment industry is it's going to have its ups and its downs, right? We're going to have those moments when we're feeling stuck, but we have to be brave enough and we have to trust that it's all coming together for a reason. And I truly believe that we wouldn't still be in this art form or in this creative passion if we weren't supposed to be doing it. And I think you just have to trust the process. I lead with my intuition always. Sometimes when I'm feeling like stuck in that moment, I ask for signs and beautiful things happen. I always see the number 77, usually with blinking lights straight after. It's honestly actually quite crazy. But those little signs remind me that I am on the right path. I always remind myself this too. I could be having a safe job my whole entire life, and I'll probably still have those moments of feeling stuck or lost. And you know what? I might work that safe job my whole entire life and maybe get let go and then be like, what now? I think life is too short and life is a little wild. It's a little crazy. It's very crazy, you know? And so why not just do what you love? And it's okay to feel stuck. I feel like we always have the answers within, but I think when our brain is just working a little extra overdrive and we're pretty like overwhelmed, it's sometimes hard to think of what the next step is. But if you can just trust and push through those moments, I know that the next idea or next step or next opportunity will come your way. Be kind to yourself and just know that you are a badass rock star. Okay, I'm going to answer one more question. Let's play it.
Okay, a question for you, Christina. What is your number one piece of advice for someone who wants to go after their dreams, but is afraid that if they give it everything they have, give it their all, they might not succeed? What would you tell them?
Okay, I sat here for a bit and I was like, I don't know how to answer this question. And then I sat here for a little longer and I was like, of course I know how to answer this question. What I would say to this person is, be a rebel. You got this. I dare you. I dare you to just try. You know, because what do you have to lose? Literally, what do you have to lose? I feel like if you're thinking of that thing or thinking of that passion, that is a big reason and a big sign of that you should be doing it and you should be following it. I don't know. I believe that if we have a thought of that dream or that new thing we want to try or that adventure we want to go on, if it comes into our brain, I think that's a sign that we should be doing it and that's what we need to follow. We wouldn't be thinking it if we weren't supposed to. And so I think if you are passionate about something and you want to try something, but you're hesitant, well, you already want to do it for a reason. And I think the step of what's next in life is just trying it and pushing through with fear, like we talked about earlier. I think you just have to do it. And I think you need to push through being scared and push through that anxiety. I would say just try it because what do you have to lose? Nothing. And why not? Why not try it? Like, what are the reasons that you wouldn't? Why not be a rebel and why not try? Because if you don't try, well, it won't happen. And if you try, you have a really great shot. And if other people are doing it, that means that you can too. I think the main thing that we have to be reminded of is that our purpose is so much bigger than that fear of failing. And we can't let failure stop us from trying things because we can't live in that what if. So yeah, be a rebel and try it and see all the magic that does happen. Okay, those are some very good questions. There's so many more, but I'm going to save those for a later episode. And you guys, that was so much fun. The very first episode featuring Call Me On My Schell, my new series. Thank you, everybody who sent in a voice note. Those were awesome. Next week, I'm excited for our episode. So I'm going to be releasing a new episode every single Monday, which is super exciting. And I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in and listening. Before I feature our musical artist in the song for today's podcast, I just want to plug and I want to say, you guys, please come say hi. Follow me on Instagram, Christina Schell. Schell is Schell. I also have an Instagram page for this podcast, lifeinaschell. So come follow both. Come say hi. I also started a YouTube, which is so exciting. And my next goal is to start to make vlogs, weekly vlogs, showing you a little bit about my weeks, all the makings behind the scenes of this podcast, which I think is very exciting because this girl, I used to be a vlogger back in the day. So I say let's bring it back because taking Life in a Shell to camera is the dream. Please make sure you are following Life in a Shell podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you are tuning in from, and share the podcast with your friends. Spread the word. Okay, so it's that time in the podcast when I am going to be featuring a musical artist. And this episode, we're going to be showcasing the most talented and amazing badass singer. Her name is Tess Anderson. And I am lucky to be friends with Tess. She is amazing and she is just super inspiring. I had such an exciting time because I helped prep her for her Canadian tour recently, and we were in the studio and I was working on her performance with her and giving her some little moves and dance transitions to rock out, and she absolutely killed it and she slayed. Now a little bit about Tess, because Tess Anderson is the coolest. Tess Anderson is a Vancouver-based artist, and she is just so freaking inspiring because she's this powerhouse and she's all about throwing out the expectations and just making music that feels good. And she just really is vulnerable and powerful, and I just love how real she is. Tess has a 6-piece band that plays with her, and they all rock out so much. They're all so talented. And they just actually wrapped up their very first headlining tour in Western Canada, which is super cool. And yeah, make sure you go follow Tess Anderson on Spotify and on Instagram. And once again, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Life in a Shell. Until next week, everybody, this is Anodyne by Tess Anderson.
God, no, this isn't really what I planned. Been getting weak in the knees till I can't stand. Baby, I'm just putty in the palm of your hand. Jumping, yeah, you know I jumped over. Can you making me numb? Little scared of what I might become. feel anything at all, I take it too far. I'm too high, can't read warning signs. You're messing with my state of mind. Addicted, caught up in your ties. I keep crossing the line with my Anodyne. Keep doing things I said never would. You take me up to the clouds and you give me that look. I can stop it even when I know that I should. 'Cause if I can't feel anything